BLA, 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 Faithful, Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Wow, Faithful. That was a victory tonight on Sunday Night Football prime time against them good old LA Chargers. The game was not, I would say it wasn't an impressive performance by the 49ers, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Um, the offense was a little underwhelming at times, especially in the first half. But a win is a win, and it didn't matter if we won by 20 points or won by 3 points. We still improved to 5-4. But obviously, I'm glad we won. But it was definitely a close game. I thought it would be a close game. I just thought the 49ers would be able to put up more points in the game. But hey, the 49ers improved to 5-4. Looking forward to the next Monday night game versus the Arizona Cardinals. But man, we definitely have to talk about this game tonight. What were you guys' thoughts on the game? I will be reading comments all throughout the show. Feel free to hit that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay. You can subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on IG, Twitter, TikTok. I got it all. Facebook. I appreciate all the support. But yeah, and this will be a call in show. I will open up, I'll drop off the link in the chat, probably at maybe like the 10-minute mark. Feel free to call in and express your thoughts about this game. It was a close game. I would say the Chargers had opportunities to increase the lead. Fortunately, our defense, especially in the first half, slowed down the Chargers offense. The 49ers offense didn't really do much in the first half. And, fortunately, the 49ers defense really stepped up in the second half. I mean, I don't see the 49ers defense playing any better. I know there were injuries on the Chargers offensive side of the ball. We had injuries as well. But yeah, I mean, pretty much the Chargers didn't do anything in the second half on offense. They didn't even, I don't believe they scored in the second half. Let me double check, but they had, yeah, let me check. So here are the Chargers possessions in the second half. So they had three consecutive punts, one, uh, one possession where they had 4 plays and it turned over on down, so they didn't get the first down, and then they also had an interception. So I mean, that was the Chargers' second half offense. Clearly, that's not going to get it done. And no, the Chargers did not score any points in the second half. So that's picture perfect defense to me. And I don't see how the 49ers defense can really improve on that. But this Chargers team is still talented. I know they have injuries on both sides of the ball, but this team is still talented, and it definitely presented some problems with us. I'm not going to lie. The first drive of the game for the Chargers, they just went down the field and scored on us. I think it was like 7 plays, 75 yards. But they weren't able to replicate that again, in the rest of the game. So clearly, great job by the defense. Great job by with their moves. Great job with changing up their defense, and the pressure really got to Justin Herbert. I want to read off a few stats. Um, so Justin Herbert was really rattled in this game, and it's due to the 49ers defense. I mean, we accumulated 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 9 QB hits. So, Herbert was not really able to get comfortable. And, this pass rush really got after Justin Herbert, Bosa, Charles Omenwayhu, Drake Jackson, just to name a few guys. And Fred Warner with those timely blitzes really got after Justin Herbert and made him feel uncomfortable in the pocket. And of course, this is an interactive show. It's always best when I have people in the comment section giving their thoughts on the game. So let's say what's up to the people in them comments. So we have Eric in the building. What's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream tonight, Eric. Hope all is well. I know you're glad that the 49ers got a victory tonight. Appreciate you for coming through. We got Roberto in the building. What's good, Roberto? I like those emojis, man. Like, it wasn't a picture perfect game on offense. There were some times where the Chargers defense made plays and 49ers offense weren't able to capitalize on opportunities. But there's going to be games like that. Like, it's not going to be, we're not going to be able to, we're not playing the Rams every week, right? We're not going to, we might not score 30 to 40 points on a team every week. And there's going to be some games like this throughout the rest of the season where it's going to be very tough for the offense to move the ball. You know, Chargers defense, they were able to get some pressure on Jimmy G and this offense. But, the 49ers skill guys made some huge plays. I mean, Jawan Jennings, he just kind of came out of nowhere. He's been kind of quiet this year. Jawan Jennings, I think he had 4 catches, 40 yards. He had some huge catches on third down. Elijah Mitchell, man, 18 carries, over 80 yards in this game. So Elijah Mitchell was really good in this game. I think we ran the ball. And one of my predictions, I said I thought that the Niners would run the ball at least 38 times. And if we did that, we would win the game. And it turns out we ran the ball 41 times. So, hey, we run the ball, we win the time of possession, which was 36 minutes to 23 minutes. I mean, that's usually a Shanahan type victory right there. Seijin, what's good? Appreciate you coming into the stream tonight, Seijin. I know the Seahawks, man, they had a tough loss in Germany, first ever game played in Germany versus the Buccaneers. But hey, the Seahawks didn't give up, and they were still fighting to the end. So, hey, the Seahawks are still first in the NFC West division. So it's going to be very interesting when we play each other. I think this game's going to be in Seattle too. David McNew, what's good? Absolutely, man. We own LA, so we've beaten LA football teams 3 times in a row this season. So let's keep that streak going. Absolutely. David, what's good? Man, it's all good when the 49ers get a victory. It wasn't a pretty victory. It wasn't a perfect victory, but it's a W in the win column. And we improved to 5-4. We're over 500. And we got a tough game next week against the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico City. I believe that's technically a home game for the 49ers, but that's going to be an interesting game. I mean, the Cardinals, they always play us tough, and it's going to be very, very intriguing. But how are you doing, David McNew? I hope all is well. Eric says, I think momentum actually flipped to you all after Dre Greenlaw's ejection. Yeah. I mean, it was a bang bang play. I don't think Dre Greenlaw intended to hit him, in the head, Justin Herbert. It seemed like he was going in with his shoulder. I think Jimmy Ward kind of hit Justin Herbert, and that kind of pushed Justin Herbert, down. Or I mean, it just moved his body in a way where Dre Greenlaw couldn't really avoid making contact with Justin Herbert. So I don't think it was intentional. I don't know how you guys feel, Faithful. I'm not going to ask this question just because Greenlaw got ejected, but I don't think they should have that rule where a player gets ejected for helmet to helmet. I mean, maybe if it happens on like consecutive times in the game, maybe you do it then, but for one play, guys are running full speed. It sucks to penalize a guy like that. And Dre Greenlaw, I think he was tied in tackles in this game, and he was out, the second quarter of the game. So I think it's harsh punishment to penalize a guy like that. I mean, maybe if it's one time, you give the guy a warning or something. He was penalized on that play, but I just think that's really harsh to toss someone out of the game for something like that. I don't really like the rule. I don't know. Some people were saying it was well deserved. Other people saying, well, no, it wasn't deserved. So it's a bang bang play. I mean, he didn't hit him in the pocket like that. So it's unfortunate though that Dre Greenlaw was ejected. Roberto says, did this one for Jason Verrett? Absolutely. And the guys wore the Jason Verrett shirts during pregame warm-up, so that was a kind gesture for Jason Verrett's teammates. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in the link to the show. Feel free to call in. You can call in if you like to show your face. You're more than welcome, or you can just strictly go on audio. But here's the link. Feel free to call in and express your thoughts about this 49er victory over the LA Superchargers. Eric says, in all seriousness, Seahawks fan here, but I like your style, Jay. Hey, I appreciate that, man. And there's another Seahawks fan as well, Cjin. So hey, I appreciate you guys, supporting the stream, and I'm definitely looking forward to Niners and Seahawks again in Seattle, because I don't think the Seahawks are the same team that we played them in September. I think they are playing with much more confidence, and that's going to be a dogfight up in Seattle for sure. Niner Gang Wolfcast, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream tonight. I know you are geeked up about this 49er victory at home at Levi Stadium on Sunday Night Football prime time. And I appreciate you coming in to the stream tonight, man. Got to talk about, obviously there was some good, there was some bad. To talk about the bad a little bit, obviously special teams. I mean, I don't, maybe they just had a bad game or whatever, but they've had a few, um, you know, less than great games, I'll say. You start off with, what's his name? Robbie Gould had the missed extra point. Obviously that's not good. You had I think there was what was it? It was a blocked punt. Yeah, I think Mitch Wishnowsky went back for a punt and that was blocked. So obviously that's not good. But the 49ers have invested resources. They got several players, Ray McLeod, George Oldham, Oren Burks. We hired a new special teams coordinator, and we're still having, issues with the special teams unit. We just got to hope it gets better. But that was definitely a disappointment in this game for sure. Obviously, the first half offense, and it's almost like deja vu when I was watching this game, and I wanted to see how this team would come out of a bye week. The 49ers under Kyle Shanahan are 2-3, and how the defense came out firing on all cylinders. Outside of the first drive, they cleaned it up, but the offense, it just looked like they were running in mud. Obviously our first drive, we went down the field, but this is typical of a Shanahan-led team, right? We've seen it. The first 15 scripted plays, it's all good. We're able to go down the field, and then we settle for a field goal. So that was disappointing. I just want to go through real quick this first half offense of the 49ers. Okay, so obviously we go down 14 plays, 67 yards, we get a field goal. The next possession is the Brandon Ayuk fumble. Now, speaking of Brandon Ayuk, it was a weird play. I don't think Brandon Ayuk was expecting that contact after he caught the ball, because the player kind of showed up out of nowhere. But Brandon Ayuk still fumbled the ball. You gotta hold on to the ball. You gotta protect the ball. We can't afford to give up turnovers. Now, after we got the ball back, 3 plays and then punt. The next possession, 3 plays and punt. And then before halftime, we went down 9 plays, 75 yards, and got a touchdown. But against the upper echelon teams, we're not going to be able to win games like this just by scoring field goals. Like, on the offensive side of the ball, everyone is pretty much healthy. Juice came back, Jennings came back, Debo came back, Elijah Mitchell came back. So I just don't understand why we're not scoring more points. And that was one of the things that was disappointing for me watching this game. Eric says, I agree, Jay. It could be like soccer where you get a yellow and then goodbye. No, I agree. It's hard to decipher, well, did he purposely hit Herbert with his helmet? It's hard to decipher that. I mean, these guys are running full speed. Craig Greenlaw, I love his tenacity. I love how physical he plays. He plays a little bit behind the whistle, maybe a little bit, but that's how you want your linebackers to play. That's how you want your defense to play. You want them to play with controlled rage. And I thought Dre Greenlaw played with that tonight. Clearly, the refs didn't think that. But I agree, man. It should be like a warning or something. Like, why do you throw a guy out, the first time this type of contact happens? It's just unfortunate. But yeah, I wish they would just do like a warning system. Hey, hit to the helmet. If you do it again, you're out. Something like that. Fern Dog 89. What's good? Chargers fans, salty AF. Y'all beat an injured team with one touchdown. It wasn't pretty. I said that in the beginning of the show. It was not a pretty victory for the 49ers. Do we have some things to work on? Absolutely. Definitely have to get better in certain areas. And after a bye week, after this coaching staff has had 2 weeks to prepare, and to come out like this, only scoring 22 points, I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed. But I mean, it's a win against a talented LA Chargers team. Yeah, they had injuries. We got injuries too. I wish their team was 100%. I wish our team was 100%, but that's not the case. You still got to go out there and play and make plays and do what you got to do. I mean, the Chargers in the second half, they really couldn't do anything on offense. The 49ers defensive line was getting to Herbert. He was not comfortable in the pocket at all. And I think that effectively decided the game. We knew the Chargers couldn't run the ball. They weren't a good team all season as far as running the ball. We know Eckler can do that. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball out the backfield, but the Chargers, they're not a running football team. And I think for their future success, they're definitely going to have to run the ball more often to help, just Justin Herbert. That's for sure. But yeah, I agree, man. There's going to be some games like this where, we're not running on all cylinders. And we're going to have to, win a one possession game. And that's basically what it was. The entire game was one possession. At least when it was 13-10, it was basically a one possession game, from there on out. Eric says, "Oh yes, sir, Jay. I'm actually shocked with how the Seahawks season has gone to this point. I'm surprised too, man. I mean, Geno's been playing well. The Seattle Seahawks defense has been playing well. You guys got a really good running back, and you guys are talented. You guys are playing. There's no such thing as paper champions. You still got to go out there and play, and that's what the Seahawks have done. And they've looked pretty good so far." We got Bryant Cope in the building. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream, Bryant. I'm sure you are fired up about this 49ers victory over the good old LA Superchargers. I'm happy we got the victory. We moved to 5-4. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But there's no doubt this team is not perfect, and we only have room to grow and get better. Brian Cope says, "Go Niners." Absolutely. And, once again, this is a call-in show. Feel free, if you'd like to express your thoughts about the 49ers victory. Feel free to express your thoughts. Whatever you want to talk about, the 49ers offense, defense, special teams, it doesn't matter. Feel free to call in And it looks like we do have a caller. Let me know if you're ready. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, cool. All right, so we will bring in this gentleman goes by the name of David McNew. Let's bring this gentleman in.
What's good?
Hey, it's all good when the 49ers get a victory, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Well, the one thing I'm disappointed about is we didn't blow the brakes out of them. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, it kind of seemed like our offense would get running and get going, and then all of a sudden, there'd be a flag on one of the offensive linemen who I'm not going to name, Glitching Burndell, but and it would stifle us, and I mean, like the Ayuk fumble. So I cannot blame this on Ayuk whatsoever. He caught the ball. He was trying to spin around and break the tackle. And then the defender did the perfect thing. He put his helmet right on the ball. You can't blame Ayuk for this. I mean, he was securing the ball. It's just, that helmet's harder than his hands, right?
right.
So
Yeah, that was a tough call. It was right after I think we had punted the previous possession, and I think that was the first play of that possession. He caught the ball, and then he fumbled. But yeah, I was saying that earlier too. Like it's a difficult play because he does have the ball. He's holding on to it, but then he's not expecting a defender to be there. And like you said, he put his helmet into the ball, and it's going to pop out. So yeah, that was difficult. But fortunately, that was the only turnover we had in the game. So, but we scored 22 points in the game. Who was your offensive X factor in tonight's game?
there's actually two,
Okay.
and it's our running back by committee, Mitchell and McCaffrey. I
Yeah.
mean, they were both looking really good. I'm sitting there like, I was watching them bust off, anywhere from 5 to 11, 12 yard runs. I was going, dang, I can get used to this. You know, I mean, yeah, we were going
Absolutely.
up against one of the worst run defenses in the league. I got to say that, but they were actually stacking the box and trying to stop us and still couldn't.
They were.
So that's something I really like to see. I mean, I haven't seen Kyle get too creative with McCaffrey yet. I was expecting to see him line up like in the slot,
Mm.
here and there and stuff like that, but we haven't seen that yet. Maybe he's saving that for the future, right?
Yeah, maybe he's saving that for the future. That's always a possibility with McCaffrey because he's such a dual threat at that running back spot. But you mentioned the running backs. I mean, Elijah Mitchell, man, it's great to have him back in the offense. 18 carries, 89 yards. His longest run was 12 yards. You mentioned McCaffrey. He had 14 carries for 38 yards and one touchdown. So, that we attacked the weakness of the Chargers defense, which was right up the middle. They are one of the worst run defenses in the league. And I had said in one of my preview shows that hey, if we run the ball at least 38 times, I think we can win this game. And we ran it 41 times. So and we totally controlled, the time of possession in this game. I gotta ask you about this defense. Now, I know the Chargers offense may not be high powered due to their injuries, but we still win against Justin Herbert. He's one of the better young quarterbacks in the NFL. Who is your X factor on defense that only allowed 16 points?
I'm gonna have to say Drake Jackson, believe it or
Mm,
not. So
okay.
he didn't have any numbers popping or booming, but he was getting pressures. He was in the backfield. His he has a high energy motor.
Yeah.
I would honestly like to see him out there a little more.
Yeah.
Moving forward, and I think that's what they're doing. Honestly, you look at the his body of work the last couple of games. They seem to be increasing his reps little bit, little bit by little bit. And I mean, he was back there in Justin Herbert's face. Justin Herbert was trying to throw the ball, and he was when he was pressured, he was inaccurate. So I mean, the kid has what, 3 sacks,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But his pressure rate, I don't know what his pressure rate is. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm pretty sure it's pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like he's in a good situation. Like he doesn't have the pressure to start and play like a majority of the defensive snaps. So he can come in and relieve Samson, who was out tonight. And also I think Charles Omen Wayhue started at that spot opposite of Nick Bosa, but he has a chance to come in, play 10 to 15 snaps a game, and then just give out 100%. And I don't think he recorded any stats in this game. I don't believe. I'll double check. But he was flying around the ball. He did get a few pressures on Justin Herbert. So that is obviously that is a positive. So I mean, he did register one total tackle in the game. But yeah, there's no doubt this pressure that the 49ers, give on defense and attack the quarterback. It's a group pressure. Obviously, you got Nick Bosa, the most popular player, but this defense had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and 9 QB hits. So it was a cumulative type of effort,
Oh yeah.
attacking Justin Herbert. So that's always something, good to see. So, quick question before I let you go on this one. The 49ers have to travel to Mexico City, against the Arizona Cardinals, the NFC
Mm-hmm.
West division rival. It is technically a home game for the 49ers, but it is an international game in Mexico City. So that in itself should be exciting. If you just had one thing to pinpoint from this game, what's one area of the team that's you're most concerned with, based on what we saw tonight going up against Arizona?
The right side of our offensive line. I mean, Burford, they do actually put Brunskill in there. They kind of give him some plays. I think they're doing that just to keep him fresh because
Right.
Burford is playing pretty good. But McGlinchey and Brendel, I mean, Brendel, I'm going to say the guy's average. I'm not going to bash him too much. I've been bashing him quite a bit lately. But I'm going to say he's average.
Yeah.
But McGlinchey, man, the guy is good for a couple penalties a game. Khalil Mack isn't a very big guy, and he was just blowing
Rushing
him off his feet.
Yeah.
I was like, dang! I was watching that, and I mean, yeah. My biggest concern is actually McGlinchey at this point, to be honest.
Hey man, yeah. I mean, yeah. he's solid. He's slightly above average, on his best days. Obviously, he's best in rushing and blocking, I should say, and run blocking. But yeah, his pass blocking leaves a lot to be desired. When he goes up against the upper echelon edge rushers, he struggles. Whether it be bull rushing, whether it be speed rushing, he definitely struggles. But the right side is definitely an issue, and I like that they're working in Brunskill. I think he was at right guard today only. Sometimes he's been subbing in for left and right guard, but I think tonight was just right guard. But honestly, I think the interior of our offensive line is pretty good. Banks hasn't allowed a sack. Brendel, when he doesn't commit penalties, he's been solid. So, but yeah, there's no doubt. McGlinchey, he will be a, he's not, unfortunately, he's just not a strong suit at that right tackle spot. He's not obviously Trent Williams. So yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue going forward. So it'll be interesting to see what the Niners do in the offseason, at that right tackle spot. But time will tell. But the 49ers are 5-4. I'm happy about that. And David, I appreciate you calling into the show tonight, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got a home game, cause just because how many Niner fans are in Mexico City.
They're gonna travel.
So we got a home game against the Red Chickens coming up. Yep. Well, they're pesky. I'm expecting a fight.
Yeah. I mean, they're 3-6, but they're not going to play us like they're a 3-6 team. They always get up and play.
They're not going to lay down for us. They're going to want that W.
Yeah,
They're
and they
going to be
swept
fighting
us
hard.
last year. They swept us last year in one of those games. Colt McCoy was the starting quarterback, so there really is no easy game in the NFL.
No, there's not.
No. Hey, man, you have a good rest of your night, man. Enjoy this victory.
Hey, thanks for having me, and go 49ers.
Absolutely. Go 49ers. All righty. That was David McNew. Feel free if you want to call into the show. I will drop the chat or drop the link in the chat. Feel free to call in and express your thoughts about the game. You can do audio or video, doesn't matter. But let's continue on with these comments. So let's see. Cjin says, I thought Jimmy G did a great job today, as well as the defense. Yeah, I think the defense played excellent. I don't think they could have played any better. I know we gave up that first drive, but then the rest of the game, the Chargers weren't really able to score on multiple possessions. We talk about Jimmy, 19 of 28, 240 yards. I mean, that's a typical Jimmy G stat line. That's the type of performance we expect from Jimmy. Now, last week he threw 2 touchdowns. This week he had none. I think he had a rushing touchdown, I believe. But with Jimmy, it's it's hard to even talk about Jimmy, honestly, because he is who he is. But he throws a lot of high balls, and that's just Jimmy Garoppolo. That's just who he is. At the beginning of the game, every throw is high. Like, obviously, he's starting to develop a connection with the Ayuk show, Brandon Ayuk, but it's like every throw is high. Get the ball down, Jimmy. Can you throw it to his chest? That's frustrating to watch, but that's Jimmy. That's who he is. So, Jimmy, hey, he didn't throw any interceptions. I think this is the second consecutive game where he hasn't thrown an interception. So that's a positive. And I don't think I saw any Jimmy no throws today. So that was good. Hey, I give credit to the Chargers. They were able to get some pressure on Jimmy, make him feel a little uncomfortable in the pocket. Fortunately, in the second half, we just ran the ball down the Chargers' throat. They couldn't stop it. We kept running. Elijah Mitchell was definitely good to see him back. CMC was running as well. So Deebo Samuel had a few runs. That was definitely good to see. Niner Gang Wolfcast says Drake Jackson going to be a second stretch difference maker. Been saying it. First half of season was just a warm up for him. I hope so. Yeah, because I think we're definitely going to need him, especially in pass rushing situations. Who knows how long Samsung will be out? I think Samsung's dealing with no torn ligaments, but I think he has an Achilles issue / knee issue. That's why he didn't suit up and play today. But we'll see. We'll see if Samson will be ready next week. If not, Charles Omowehu will play. Kerry Hyder Jr., Drake Jackson, Jordan Willis was in there today. Jordan Willis. I think he played maybe 1 or 2 games this season, and then I think he had surgery for his knee. So it was good to see Jordan Willis out there. I think Jordan Willis even had a sack. So that was good to see. And of course, we have the big name Nick Bosa. He gets all the accolades. He's the most popular edge rusher, but this is a community pass rush. And the 49ers like to use a lot of guys to go after the quarterback, 6 to 8 guys deep on the defensive line. And I think that showed tonight. So Niner Gang, Wolfcast, I think he's referring to the question I asked, what is one weakness of this team? And he says, looks like the offensive line. Yeah, I think that's just going to be something all year. Mike McGlinchey, he was a first round pick several years ago. He is in the last year of his contract this year. We'll see. I won't be surprised if McGlinchey is back next year. If I had my druthers, I would say we move on from Mike McGlinchey, even if he's willing to come back for a team-friendly contract. I would still like to move on and put someone else out there, give someone else an opportunity, whether that be someone in-house or someone in house can compete with a veteran free agent, or maybe we even draft another right tackle. So I'll be open to all those three options. Yeah, there was a I think John Chapman, YouTuber extraordinaire, 49er YouTuber John Chapman put out a video. I think it was a goal line play. I think it was a goal line play, and McGlinchey just totally whiffed a block on the goal line, and his defender, of course, made a tackle on the running back. So, you know, just guys are going to make mistakes. McGlinchey's not perfect. We know what he does best, but he obviously there are certain situations where he doesn't do he doesn't do everything perfect, but he's the best option right now, or at least Shanahan feels McGlinchey's the best option at that right tackle spot. And hey, if he's healthy, he's going to be out there. But yeah, Niner Gang Wolfcast says McGlinchey even effed up in the run game today a few times when that's supposed to be his strength. Yeah. It's just like Jimmy. It's like we know what to expect from McGlinchey. He's going to be solid, but then there are some times where he's going to get a holding penalty. He's going to get bull rushed, and he'll get pushed back into Jimmy G. Jimmy G's going to have some Jimmy oh no throws. Jimmy's going to look to the left and look to the right, and then he might throw in double coverage. This is who Jimmy McGlinchey are, and we just got to hope they'll have more good plays than bad plays. We got Randy Daytona in the building. What's good? Appreciate you coming down to the stream to check out Jay in the Bay. Randy, he says, what's good? Great win. Yeah, I appreciate that. Let's see. David says, Jimmy G actually threw the ball away in this game better than throwing into triple coverage. Correct. No, that's very true. There were some throws he threw out of bounds, out of the back of the end zone, and that's great. I would rather him do that than throw in a triple coverage for sure. And hopefully he continues that. We'd rather him throw the ball away than get sacked or throw in a triple coverage. That's for sure. And Niner Gang, yeah, feel free to call in. You don't have to show your face. You can do audio only if you like. And you can express your thoughts about the game. Yeah, you don't have to show your face. You can do audio only if you like. The link to the stream is right here. Feel free. Randy Daytona says, "Yep, no one better than McG right now." Yeah, that's the thing. There's really no one better right now, and he's the best we got. Well, actually, I don't know if I can say he's the best we got, but he is who Shanahan trusts at this moment. He's the person that Shanahan trusts the most, and that's the case. Shanahan trusts him the most, so that's who's going to be starting that right tackle. So Niner Gang Wolfcast says, yeah, he's far from it. McGlinchey, yeah. Tommy Huxley, what's good? Tommy Huxley says red zone offense needs to improve. Yeah, I agree. I think we were, let's see, our red zone offense, I think it was, let me double check the stats. Red zone, we were 2 of 5. So, that's under 50%. That's decent, but definitely not where we want to be. And Tommy says, but a win is a win. Yeah, I agree, man. This game wasn't pretty, but at the end of the day, we got a win. The Chargers, they were 5-3, so it's not like they're contending for a playoff appearance. They're not going to just lay down. But yeah, I just thought the offense looked like they were stuck in mud. On a few possessions, and it was kind of like the same old, same old. And especially this team having 2 weeks to prepare for the Chargers, coming off of a bye. I thought we would look, I don't know, more explosive, you know, more juice for this game. I thought the 49ers defense definitely brought it for all 4 quarters, but I just thought the offense was lacking. Tommy says Randy is new, but he is like my brother already. Making connections. That's all good. We got crazy juice in the building. What's good? How you doing tonight, Crazy Juice? Hope all is well. We got Jesus in the building. Saludos. Thanks for coming into the stream. What did you guys feel about this game? Were you disappointed the Niners only scored 22 points? Were you hoping that this offense would be able to score more points against one of the worst run defenses in the NFL? I mean, the 49ers did run the ball 41 times. So that is a huge plus. But we do have another caller into the show. Cool. Let me know if you're ready. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're ready. Okay, cool. All right, let's bring on this gentleman into the stream. What's good? And you go by the name of Wolfgang, right?
Niner Gang Wolfcast, bro. How you doing?
Niner Gang Wolfcast. All right, man. Nice to meet you through StreamYard and YouTube, man. How you doing tonight?
Likewise, bro. Feel good after a victory. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too impressed. I thought we would really whoop that ass. So
Yeah,
I'm not too impressed, but I'm happy it's a dub for sure, man. I wanted to ask you though, because Jimmy G's balling out, dude. He played a really good game today. I right off the top of my head, I was thinking about that throw to Ray McLeod on the run. That shit was beautiful, man.
that was nice.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you noticed, they cut to Trey Lance running to the sideline excited, right? Did you see
I
that?
didn't see that. Trey Lance was on the sideline in the game. I didn't see that.
Yeah, and he
All
was he
right.
was he was pumped up on the sideline, running around like excited with his teammates, man. So it was pretty crazy to see. I was like, it caught me completely off guard, and I was
Yeah.
listening to Celts Chronicles at the time, and he's like he couldn't believe it either. I saw his reaction was pretty similar to mine, so that was pretty fucking dope, man. I want to get your
Yeah.
thoughts because, in my opinion, I feel like I don't understand why you wouldn't allow Trey Lance to be ready if he's able to physically. Let him be ready in case anything, knock on wood, if anything
Yeah.
were to happen to Jimmy G, right? We even just today saw him take a couple rough hits. And
Yeah.
Trey Lance last year showed that when Jimmy G, if anything happens to him and Trey Lance has got to step in for a must win game, that he can do it. So um, I wouldn't throw him into the starting role right away just because, physically, I don't know how ready he is. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I know Shanahan had mentioned after the injury, maybe after Trey Lance had surgery, that he would not be able to return this season. And I would assume that's what the doctors had told him. But it is a great sign that Trey Lance is out of the walking boot. But we don't know if he's really resumed any activities. I don't know. I'm sure if he's practicing, I'm sure the media would be able to see that. But we don't really know where Trey Lance is at in his recovery and his rehab. So, um, yeah, in a perfect world, if Trey Lance could come back by week 16, hey, put him out there. Put him out there in some certain packages. I don't think that would hurt. But the way Shanahan used Trey Lance, it to me it shows that Shanahan didn't really trust Trey Lance to really run the offense, to really throw the ball downfield. And for that reason, I don't think it would be a good decision to put Trey Lance in, even if he was healthy at the end of the year. I think Shanahan trusts Jimmy G more than he trusts Trey Lance based on how he uses Jimmy G in this offense. And yeah, I just don't think. I think it'd be great if Trey could come back this year, but I just wouldn't expect it based on Shanahan and his belief in Jimmy and the way Shanahan used Trey. So
So what do you think if Trey Lance is good to go, right?
Hmm.
because, like, for example, I was talking to Jesse Naylor, and he was talking about how his when he cracked his ankle, he broke his ankle in some one way where I don't think it was as severe as Trey Lance, but he said once the deadline was up, his doctor told him, "All right, go out there and start playing again." I think it was softball or something like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't football, but he's like, and Jesse Naylor's like, "What do you mean? Like, I don't know about all that. Once a bone is healed, it's healed. You got to go and get it mobile." So let's
Right.
say he's cleared, right? He's cleared. We're only halfway through the season right now. So
Yeah.
if he's cleared, how do you feel? Like, the way I see it is, why don't you? He's been at all the meetings, right? He's
Right.
been trying his best to still be part of this team and the system. So he's in those meetings. So from the mental aspect, he's there, right? When you talk about how Kyle Shanahan didn't trust him for running this offense, I think what happened was they just got scared that, when we had Mosley, this defense was super elite. So that
Yeah.
was part of it, right? And he
Right.
had what, like a 54 completion percentage in training camp. And so, can you guys hear that in the background?
A little bit.
Yeah, these kids are going crazy, man. They're ridiculous.
How many kids you
Yeah.
got?
We had three. My first son passed away, but we have two
Oh,
now.
sorry to hear
Yeah.
that, man.
So
I got two
yeah,
as well, so I totally understand, man.
right on. Yeah, okay. Yeah, hopefully you guys can't hear it too much. But yeah, I think, Kyle Shanahan got gun shy because Trey Lance was just going against a super elite defense in the training camp. So I think that was just part of it, right? And
Right.
can't, you're limited to using your athleticism. They want you to pass out of the pocket, right?
Yeah.
So not too much off script stuff in the training camp. So that's definitely what was it. They got a little too camera shy with that shit, and started calling boneheaded plays for him. I
Yeah.
think just once he's ready physically, once he's cleared, let him pocket pass in practice. There's no reason not to. Don't make him the starting quarterback, of course.
Yeah.
Jimmy G's doing great. Just, if anything forbids, knock on wood again, that it were to happen to Jimmy Garoppolo, I would say, why not have Trey Lance ready? Why not? Do you want to win a Super Bowl or what? Because at this point, Kyle Shanahan, I don't know how much of a hot seat he's on with not winning a championship yet.
No, I agree. If Trey Lance is cleared, I think he should be out there at least practicing. I would be surprised if Shanahan, elected him to start over Jimmy G. I would be shocked by that, but because he hasn't played,
Yeah,
like you don't get better really by not playing. And he's missed a lot of time, a lot of weeks, a lot of snaps. But at least allow
yeah,
him to practice if he's physically able. But yeah, man, we're all wishing a speedy recovery for Trey Lance. Now you had mentioned earlier when you called in that you were not impressed by this victory. Obviously, we got the Cardinals next week. What is
yeah,
what is your most concerning area of this team going into playing the Cardinals next week?
yeah. That's a great question, huh? Just the way the quarterbacks are still able to get out of the pocket and scramble for extra yardage. This was Justin Herbert, not Kyler Murray. But one thing I love about Kyler Murray is he loves to run backwards and give us like
Yeah,
30-yard sacks. So it's kind of give and take there. But he's a lot quicker than Justin Herbert. So, we saw it against like Mariota more so, I should say. But yeah, that worries me. Um, Ayuk did really good, but he dropped his one drop was a very crucial pass in the end zone,
yeah, in the
which
end
you
zone.
gotta
Yeah,
you gotta catch that with your hands, not your chest. That's day one shit when it comes to
yeah.
being a wide receiver. Yeah, so
No,
yeah, man,
absolutely,
just
absolutely,
that.
man. Hey,
Nothing too crucial.
I appreciate you calling in. And do you have your own YouTube channel, Niner Game Wolfcast?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes, sir.
man.
Niner Gang Wolfcast.
Cool.
My boy
So
Brian made me
nice.
the hat for it.
That's a nice lid you got there, man. Hey, so when's your next show?
I was thinking about doing one tonight.
Okay.
So I might do that. Yeah, we'll see what
Hey,
happens.
cool,
If
man.
not,
Yeah,
then tomorrow.
do a post game show, talk about it. But yeah, So that's good to know that you
Yeah.
you got a YouTube channel, man, and continue to grind, continue to show your passion of the 49ers. And I appreciate you calling in tonight, man. You have a good rest of your night.
All right, brother. Thank you, man.
All
Take
right.
care,
No
huh?
worries. You're welcome to call
All
in
right.
anytime. All right.
All right, for sure. Sounds good.
Take it easy. All right. That was Niner Gang Wolfcast. Guys, check out his YouTube channel. Obviously, he's a passionate 49er fan. Check him out. But yeah, always welcome to have other content creators call into the show or just 49er fans or NFL fans. So yeah, man. I'm going to continue going on with these comments. Jesus says, can we credit the Chargers for being tough? Absolutely. They didn't lay down. I mean, but this is a team that's 5-3. They're in contention for the playoffs. They're going to come in. They played hard, and I think they gave us their best effort for sure. Tommy asked, how many rushing yards did we get? Let's see. I think we had 41 carries, 157 rushing yards. So that's pretty good. That was an area of this Chargers team that was most deficient was the run defense. They're one of the worst run defenses in the league, and that's definitely where the 49ers wanted to attack, and that's what we did. Let's see. Crazy Drew says, true, Tommy, but we should still play better in the first half. Yeah, I agree. It was disappointing in the first half when we couldn't really get anything going offensively. Obviously, we had that turnover by Ayuk early. The first drive was good. We went down the field, but then we settled for a field goal, and that's so frustrating after having a 14-play drive, 67 yards. You can't get it into the end zone, so you have to settle for a field goal. Like we can't do that in playoff games. We can't do that playing the upper echelon teams. We saw that. We saw that against the Chiefs. So you can't you can't score field goals and expect to beat the better teams, man. You just can't do it. So that's definitely frustrating. Not getting the ball in the end zone and scoring touchdowns. That's obviously frustrating. David McNew says Trey Lance is walking. Hopefully he will be back around week 15 and week 16. I welcome it. When he gets back, I will be happy. I'm just not expecting him to contribute this year based on what Kyle Shanahan has said. Hey, he can change his mind, no doubt. But Trey Lance hasn't played football. He just had a surgery. He's rehabbing. I just don't anticipate Shanahan's going to put Trey Lance in. I would be shocked. I don't think he'll have him start, obviously, but just to have him come in for a few plays, sure, I think it's a good idea, but I just don't think Shanahan would do it. I think he's riding with Jimmy G. Coach Dante, what's good? Hopefully you're having an excellent evening, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream tonight. Let's see. But yeah, Sejan says that Bills and Vikings game. Yeah, that was a crazy game this morning. Yeah, that was one of the early games. Yeah, that was a back and forth overtime game. That was a pretty good game. Jesus says Trey may be back this year. I mean, he's out of the walking boot, so that is great. But as far as him actually contributing to the 49ers and playing, I mean, I think that's to be determined. I mean, we'll see. We got Kelts Chronicles in the building. What's good? And Kelts Chronicles is 1/4 of the Straight Out of the Bay crew. Kelts Chronicles, myself, the Dream, and Bay Area Baller 18. I have formed the Straight Out of the Bay group. And I believe we will be having a stream tomorrow night. I think it's going to be on my channel, Jay in the Bay. And we will talk about this 49ers victory over the Chargers. We may even talk a little bit about the Monday night game if it's a good game. But yeah, appreciate you coming into the stream tonight, Kelts. David McNew says the Red Chickens are pesky, especially when they play the 49ers. It's like the Cardinals have had our number at least last year. They swept us. We have the Rams number. The Seahawks had our number with Russ. So, we'll see. Everyone beats each other up in the division. Kelts Chronicles, a win is a win. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tommy Huxley says, aren't we tied for first in the NFC West since the Seahawks lost? I don't think so. I think the Seahawks are still up a game because I think the Seahawks were 6-3 going into this game. Yeah. So hey, let's put it up on the screen real quick. So here is the updated list for the NFC West standings. Surprise, surprise. Seahawks are 6-4. I mean, who would have thought that at the halfway point of the season? Um, the Niners, yeah, we're second. We're 5-4. The Cardinals are 4-6. Let me move that. Let me move that banner out the way. Take that off so that way we can see and move this down. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, and at the bottom of the division are the Rams at 3-6. You know, Super Bowl hangover. They are struggling right now. The Cardinals are 4-6. But you know, hey, I don't think the Cardinals are. You know, they're definitely not done. You know, statistically or numbers wise, but they're definitely struggling. But they always bring their best against the 49ers. And it will be an interesting game in Seattle in December. Definitely looking forward to that game. That's going to be a very, very intriguing game. That's for sure. But that's the latest NFC West standings. Let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. Let's see. David says, Tommy, the Sea Chickens are half a game up on us. Edward, what's good? Edward says, hey, Jay and Faithful, the schedule is easier now. Hopefully they fix these offense issues. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can really play the schedule game. I mean, the 49ers have lost to some teams that, you know, I didn't think we would lose to. I'm sure you guys didn't think we would lose to. You know, I don't know if we can do the schedule game because, you know, this team is, hey, we're 5-4. We're one game above 500, but this has been a topsy-turvy season. We don't know what team's going to show up. You know, but let's look at our schedule. Let's do the schedule game. Why not? Let's do the schedule game. So obviously we got the Arizona Cardinals next on Monday Night Football prime time. And then we face off against the New Orleans Saints at home. I would say this, the best thing about the 49ers remaining schedule is a lot of games are at home. And I think the farthest we have to travel is Mexico City and Seattle, I believe. So, you know, the Cardinals game's in Mexico City. The Saints game is in Levi. The Dolphins game's at Levi. The Buccaneers game at Levi. The Commanders game is at Levi. And the Seahawks game is in Seattle. So we've got a lot of home games. So that's a huge plus. We don't have to travel basically 4 out of the next 6 games. What? Cardinals, Saints, Fins, Buccaneers, Commanders, Seahawks. Oh, and we play the Raiders too. So, but that's just Vegas though. So you look at 5 out of the next 7 games, we don't have to travel. So that's huge. We get to stay in Cali. So I think that's a huge advantage for us. But, you know, which team will show up? Because we have been inconsistent so far. So, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, the Cardinals play us tough. The Saints, I think they're playing Andy Dalton. You know, he's not really a starting quarterback anymore. The Fins are looking good. I mean, I think the toughest game on this schedule is the Fins. The Fins look good. Tua and all the speed they got on the field. The Commanders won't be an easy game. They play us tough usually. And then, of course, the Seahawks. So I don't see any easy games on the schedule, really. Maybe the Saints, maybe. But outside of that, I think all these teams will play us tough. That's for sure. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think all these teams will play us tough. Jesus says, seems like every team is gearing up to play the Niners with everything. Absolutely. Who's next? We got the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico City. That's our next game. Edward says, I want Seattle to have hope, so 49ers crush it. I like that. Let's see. I know you'll be happy about this, Tommy. You know, one of your favorite friends through via YouTube. Um, the Cardinal Rule. He will be a guest on my show next Saturday night. I know you're excited for that. I know you and him get along real well. But yeah, we're going to talk about some Niners and Cardinals next Saturday night with the Cardinal Rule. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Yeah, Tommy, I don't agree with that Greenlaw getting ejected. I didn't like that call. I thought it was BS as well. Yeah, I just didn't like the call. You know, it was, I don't, it's hard to judge intent, but I think it's just a harsh penalty to throw a guy out for helmet to helmet contact. Like, if you want, maybe give him a warning or whatever. Next time you do it, you're out. But I don't think it was his intent to hit him with his helmet. It looked like he was leaning in with his shoulder. So I agree, Randy. We better, but the Cardinals play is tough. Kyler Murray is tough to bring down. You know, DeAndre Hopkins is back. That Cardinals defense loves to fly around. So it's going to be a great game for sure. Definitely looking forward to that. Tommy says barbecue them birds with Nashville hot sauce. That's funny. Yeah, good luck next week, man. Seahawks and Raiders. I think the Raiders lost again today. So man, they are in shambles. They are spiraling out of control. I don't think you need any luck, Seattle. Randy said, poor Ramelia report, LOL. Hey, man, the Rams got their Super Bowl. I'm sure they're riding high, but hey, man, this is just not going to be their year. I think that's quite clear. Crazy Juice says we're going to make some wings out of those birds. That's what I'm talking about, man. Hey, man, I appreciate everyone who tuned into the stream. Whether you called into the show or whether you were expressing your opinion through the comment section, any way you contribute to the show, I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone tuning into the stream tonight. If you haven't already, feel free to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay. We will have the Straight Out of the Bay show, I believe, on my channel tomorrow night at 8:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So come through. You want to talk some more 49ers and Chargers football, and you also get the perspective of not only myself, Kelps Chronicles, Bay Area Baller 18, and Amin the Dream. So come back tomorrow night and make sure you subscribe to those three gentlemen's channels as well. But everyone have a good rest of your night. It is a Victory Monday tomorrow, so that's going to be a great day. Obviously, hey, we didn't play a perfect game. This was not a victory where we had a perfect performance. It was not. This was a back and forth game. This was a one possession game for much of the second half, and we're going to have some of those games, but at least we came out on top. So at the end of the day, a win is a win. TCR next Saturday night. But everyone have a great rest of your night. Go Niners. And hey, we're 5-4. And we just got to keep stacking up these wins. So everyone have a great rest of your night. Go Niners.